Welcome back to the channel. This is Cindy Birkeland with CindyBirkeland.com, and I'm super excited. I have someone very special on the podcast today. This is Miss Rita Reid, and Rita is running for Clark County Public Administrator. And I had the opportunity, I think, to meet you a couple of months ago. We went to an event, and what's been really neat about me meeting Rita is, I have a lot of the people she works with work at Clark County Public Administrator's office. So she has been so highly touted to me. And then I got to meet her and I was like, wow, she's really kind of the obvious one for the job. And I want to start right now by explaining what the Clark County Public Administrator's Office does, because so many people are like, what is that? They're used to voting for assembly or Senate or Congress or the president, but what does the public administrator do?
Well, as you've said, we're kind of an obscure, unknown little office, and really it's okay if people in our community don't know what we do, but those that need us do. And so when individuals within our community, our citizens, pass away and there's no family or no executor immediately available, the coroner may respond, or the hospital, or hospice, but if the family's not there to take care of the property, then they will refer the cases to us. And what we have the right to do under the Nevada Revised Statute is to go and safeguard and secure a decedent's property until a couple things happen, until the family is found and notified. And then they have the right and the priority under the law to come and retrieve the property and handle their loved one's affairs. Or if the family's not able or willing to come forward, then our office can move forward in that particular situation. And that may be that we just continue to safeguard a little bit of personal property, or it could be a full estate that might need to be probated if it has vehicles, bank accounts, real property. And so we would then hire a local attorney on behalf of that estate as allowed by Nevada Revised Statute, and put that petition the court to be appointed as the administrator of the estate. And so from that point forward, we would actually sell the assets, pay the debts, pay the taxes, and close out and continue. If we didn't already know who the legal next of kin and the heirs were, we would continue to search for them during that entire process. So that's what we do.
That's really interesting. So it's hard to imagine passing away and not having any family around, but gosh, I guess it happens a lot, huh?
Well, it seems like Las Vegas is kind of unique in talking to other cities, over time. We have a transient city. We've often known that. People move here. It used to be called just the snowbirds, but people move here from all around our country and the world. So when they move here, they don't necessarily have their families right here with them. And I think that's pretty adventurous, but a lot of people do move here and their families aren't here, or they've raised their family and their families moved elsewhere. So there's actually, sadly, unfortunately, there's many people that pass away in our community that don't have anyone right here. Or in some situations, it's sadder. Families have disputes and they may be just estranged from their families. Their family may be right here in Clark County also, but they're just not talking, haven't talked for years for whatever reason. And it's not for us to judge at that point.
Yeah.
We're just trying to find out who's got the priority, who wants to handle the affairs. And we just follow the laws there. So we don't judge. We all have families, so we know how families can be, and sometimes there's division. So we just try to learn more about it and then determine what actions we need to take.
Yeah. Well, and it is a very interesting thing, and I didn't know anything about it until I met. I have a couple of clients that work at the county that I take care of, and I got to learn what that whole role is, and it was mind-blowing to me to think that there are so many elderly people in this town that actually pass away in their home and nobody even knows they passed. And what a tragic situation, but thank God we have a position, we have a role out there by the county that somebody can come in and do this. So what a great thing it really is.
It really is, and it's our investigative team that actually go physically out to the homes or storage units, wherever that individual either lived or was located at the time they died, or whatever resources or assets we can learn about it's our investigative team that initially go out and try to safeguard those items of importance. We safeguard items of importance to the estate, so that could be, and value to the estate. So monetary items, informational value is very important to us. And sometimes if they have, we also secure the sentimental value items, pictures, memorabilia, things of that nature. But the whole time we're still trying to find the family members, and or sometimes we'll find wills and trusts documents in an individual's home. And so then we're trying to locate the executor of the will. So that's very important. We see a lot of wills that name, John Joseph or something. We have no idea who John Joseph is. We don't know where that person lives, what city, what state. Are they the age of the person that wrote the will? Are they younger? Are they related? So having a will is very, very important. But putting a little bit more information with the document so that one day when needed, the people that are there, whether it's family, might respond, but you may have written a will. So you want to be sure and put the information with that document, at least as it stands at the time you wrote it. Wow. And wills don't expire unless, you write a new will. So that will we've worked with wills from the 60s and 70s that if there's no further will, then those wills are still valid in the state of Nevada.
That makes all the sense in the world, because I've been in the mortgage business since the early, mid 90s. And I used to teach my staff, if it's not written down and it's not on paper, it doesn't exist. It's not real. But I also had a thing that I would have my staff do all the time. We had what I call a Mack truck theory. And, when we did our files, like, if I got hit by a Mack truck today, could you pick up my file and close it? And so it had, the devil's in the details, right? So if you don't have those things, like, by the way, the executor, his name is, and here's his business card, or this is my cousin, and here, here's his phone number. Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world, because somebody's got to, you're coming behind somebody that's passed away, and you've got to figure this out. So this is a really important job, believe it or not. The administrator, this office is very, very important. Now, I want to get into a little more detail about you, because there are 3 people running for this position right now.
Yes.
And I met Rita, and I know you've been there for how many years?
15 and a half, almost 16.
Working in the capacity of the assistant to the administrator, right? Mm-hmm. So here you are. You've basically been playing the role, especially over the last couple of months. They've had some shenanigans in that office. Mm-hmm. So please explain why, Rita, you should be elected and we should vote for you above the other 2 candidates, because there's 3 running. So
yes, sir. If I could clarify just something, I have carried the title of Assistant Public Administrator. The last 3.5 years, I've not had that responsibility or authority. It was removed from me by our former public administrator. And I did more case management than administrative role. Okay. But the position itself, and the position that I had for the 12 years prior, was definitely as the assistant, more the administrative, with some case management involved with that. But so who am I? Why am I running? Why I'm running is a longer story. But who I am is I was born and raised here in Clark County. This is my home, my community. It's been very good to me, to my family. And so I do feel, and I know people say this all the time, I do feel it's contributing to the community. Yeah. And so in that respect, that's really heartfelt, that I'm giving back a little bit, even though it is a job and a good job and good benefits that we have with the county. But I was born and raised here, but I started out working in the hotel casino, advertising, entertainment area, and I worked there for about 20 years, different hotels and sales and marketing, and represented our hotels and tourism to Las Vegas. And about 25 years ago, I moved into government office with Clark County. So I've been with Clark County government for 25 years, initially with the district attorney's office and administration, and then with the county clerk, working for Shirley Paragary, who was our county clerk at the time. And tenacious, strong, smart woman, and just a great mentor to me.
Nice.
And the last 15 and a half years or so, I've been with the public administrator's office. So that's my background pretty much from, in a nutshell, as far as work experience.
Yeah. And I think you have it.
The county is an interesting system. And so it is a learning curve when you come into a department and you learn. And that's what happened 25 years ago when I first had the honor of working with Stu Bell at the district attorney's office, is learning how county operates, not just the departments, but you then network with the main county's finance, human resources department. So you're learning, and all of their computers and network systems too. So it's a lot to learn, and it does take a learning curve. And
you
I
don't
kind of
have
take
to
it
do
for
that
granted.
because you're already in there. You've been in the mix for a long time.
Yeah, I don't really think about it because it is kind of second
But
nature.
somebody coming into the position that hasn't worked, it has not only that learning curve. They've got a job to do, but then they've got to learn how to even work in that environment. So for me, when I was, everyone knows I'm pretty politically active, and I'm always looking for who is the best person for this particular job and role, because you guys are really, and I love how your philosophy is very much like mine. When you're brought in to government, you are brought in to be our servant for the people. Absolutely. And that's exactly you have such a servant heart. And I think it's important for people to also understand this is, even though it is a somewhat partisan position, right? You're very nonpartisan. And what I mean by that is you don't really pick a side when it comes to politics, because explain what you did to me earlier. This role really has nothing to do with politics, right?
It really doesn't. We've talked several times just in the office, about the role is we don't make policies. We make departmental policies, but we don't pass laws. We're not in that area. We really are definitely more nonpartisan in the services that we provide. Someone passes away, we're not asking anything about their religion or gender. Well, gender we may know just from the process, but there's just things that we don't need to know and aren't important in the work that we do.
Yeah.
Their political persuasion, their religion. What we're interested in is who is their family. We're trying to find their family.
Yeah.
And we serve their families no matter who the person was, no matter who the families are.
Yeah.
There's no distinction there.
Yeah, you have a specific role to play.
Yeah.
And it's really, for me, what I really learned and loved about you, Rita, is that your true care for the people that you work with. I mean, I know that they hounded you until you actually ran for the position. I know that was going on. And to say that speaks measures about who you are, because I know that was a tough decision for you, and you really weighed that very seriously.
I did, and there was tremendous encouragement from the office, from many in the office, and
now why do because for those that don't know that office, and I kind of have an insider because I know a lot of your employees, are my clients, so I would like for you to share a little bit about why they were so adamant about you running for the position. This is going to require you to brag a little bit on yourself, and I know you're not good at that. You're very humble. So
well, I am a hard worker, and I do respect people, and I don't really know. It is hard to talk about me, but I do want to do a good job. My focus every day is to come in and do the best job I can.
Yeah.
And serve the people that we're supposed to be serving, and do the best we can. And in an office that's so huge like ours, I take that back. Our office is small. The workload is large.
Yeah.
And so it's very frustrating many days that you can't get to everyone that needs our help and services that day. You've got to come back the next day and continue. So it can be very frustrating and demoralizing and so what I try to encourage for myself as well as others is just do our very best today.
Yeah.
Come in, do your best, the people that you're going to take care of, we've got to feel an accomplishment. We just talked to that family. We've just moved forward. We've handled that. Yes, there's other families waiting for our call. We're going to get to them too, but we have to find some accomplishment and fulfillment in the role each and every case at a time, each person that we deal with, and keep moving forward until we can get all of the cases and get everybody a reasonable response, a response in a reasonable time. So it's very, I think everybody that's there right now is just so committed to the service that it's very difficult every day walking out knowing there's so much still left to do.
Yeah. But
we've got to keep going. And there have been some difficult times in our office in this most recent administration. There were several employees, myself included, that had some very difficult experiences with the former public administrator, to the point that there were complaints levied, and basically the message we were getting back was that really there was nothing that could be done about the treatment of the employees, myself included, because the person was an elected position, and there were hands were tied supposedly, and they just couldn't make it better. So we were hearing that the only way to really change that environment, if we wanted to change it, was to then run for office or have him removed from office. And so that's one of the big decisions making elements was, how do we make our office better? And if running for office against him was one of the steps that had to be taken, then it had to be taken.
Yeah. And what an unfortunate situation. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Like, just for you to get that kind of feedback when you guys were very obviously being abused, and it, it's played itself out. I mean, he showed his hand. If you guys don't know who this is, he was in the office, and his name is Robert Tejas. I think that's how you say it. Tejas or Tellus?
Tejas is the Hispanic version of Tellus.
He is on trial right now for attempted murder, I think.
For murder.
He's not attempted murder, for murder. And, not the nicest guy. So they have had a lot to deal with. And when we have officials that are abusing power, that cannot happen. And this is why I really felt like, Rita, you are the person for the job, because you've been in there doing the job, and you are the last person that is ever going to abuse power. You've been sticking up for everybody else when you guys had a bully on your hands, and fighting against a bully is not easy, but you had a job to do. So, I just want to wrap this up and say thank you for what the service you've been providing and doing your job so well, because as a county employee, we're looking for you guys to, yes, there's taxpayers' dollars for that, but we appreciate when you are doing a great job, and you guys need to hear that you have been doing a great job down there, and everything that's happened, there's a reason that you're here now. And so I just really want to invite you guys as listeners to please vote for Rita Reid. It's an important position. Imagine if you had a loved one in another city that passed away and you weren't there and nobody was helping them. So this county position is very important. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up today?
Well, I would like to talk about the people in the office, because it has
This is just how Rita is.
It's not about me. I mean, I know my name's on the ballot, but it's about we now have started to improve and change the environment and start to heal and get to the point where we can really, truly serve people. It wasn't just employees that were treated badly over the past several years. Many, many, many situations where families were not treated well either, and it was heartbreaking. So the people that are there now, several of them have left when the former administrator was arrested. Many of them left, so we are very short-staffed, but the staff that's there, we have 4 full-time staff right now, that's all, but we have tremendous part-time team of part-time investigators, of whom you know some, and a couple of part-time clerical staff, and every one of them are just so committed to doing a really good job on behalf of the people who have passed and their families, if they have family, but even just making sure that we're doing our job well, because the better we do our job in the field and in the office, the better for the community overall. Because if someone's passed away in an apartment next to yours, and it's under it's a rental, the sooner we can get out there and do our job, the sooner we can find family, the sooner that unit then can be returned back over to the management. They can clean it out, they can rent it, keep their business going. And so we do have, I'm honored to work with this group of people. They really are very committed. And so it's my name out there, but it's really a team that's getting the work done.
And I love that you brought that in, Rita. And I just want to say, people buy in. When they go to work somewhere, they buy into the culture. They're there for the culture. They're not there just for a job. They can work other places, but they're buying into the people, really, because we have to work with people. Yeah. So if you don't like the people you work with, it's absolutely miserable. So I love the fact that at the county right now, your culture is sound now. You guys are working together like a well-oiled machine. And even though you're short-staffed, I know the morale is way up from where it used to be. So
at least respect one another.
Yes.
Just respect that each person is there to do a job and they're doing it. And that makes us whole, and it makes us a better contributor to those we serve and to our community. And the taxpayers' dollars then they should be confident that they're going for a good, worthy cause, because those in the community that don't need our services, they're still paying taxes support our office. So one of the things we want is the taxpayers in our community to be able to be proud of the service they provide to other citizens within our community. So,
and if you didn't know before, now you know what the Public Administrator's Office does. So everyone, I want you to vote for Rita Reid. Get on her website. What is your website, by the way? Is there a way to reach you?
Yes, it's, let's see, should be.
Oh, here it is.
It's
www.ritareid.com. So that way you can look up what Rita's all about if this didn't answer your questions, and then really get in so you can make an educated choice when it comes to voting. So thank you. If you have any other questions and you have more questions about Rita, you can get a hold of us here at cindyberkland.com. Make it an awesome day. Cindy Berkland here. Just wanted to say thank you for watching the channel. And if you want more content, just need you to click right here. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, clicking right here. If any of these conversations have interested you, please get a hold of us at cindyberkland.com, or you can reach me at cindyberkland@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching.